Can I say a prayer before we start?
Oh my God, yes.
Do you mind? Heavenly Father, I just want to come to you humbly and tell you that we're here to be able to serve your people. We want you to use us as vessels of communication to be able to speak to somebody's soul today and to be able to help somebody as they listen to the words that we say and to be able to encourage people, because our people have been through a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, and a lot of trials and tribulations. But God, with you, all things are possible. So we just want to make sure that today, as we have this podcast and as we talk what we talk and we say what we say, that these words are influenced by the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Come on, somebody. Y'all ready to make me shout at here. That was great. OMG. I love that. I love that so bad. I don't think I've ever started the podcast with a prayer, actually. I mean, I, of course, like reference the Most High, like in probably every episode. But that was dope.
That's dope. I'm not a pastor neither. Like I grew up in the church. Like I would say, like I found Jesus. I found God at a young age. My mom always had me in church, but I'm not a religious man in that sense. You know, I'm a very spiritual person. I've learned a lot of things from Christianity to Hinduism to Allah and the different parts of spirituality. And what I've learned is like, did you get the message? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like a lot of people are focused on who's the messenger, but did you get the message? You know? And so I focus on the message.
Yeah, I like that. Did you? Yeah. Because it really, for me personally, I definitely identify more still in me getting saved this year as like being spiritual. Because what I do understand is like kind of like you said, to piggyback off, like we have all of these religions out here and everything like that. Right. And, at the end of the day, what we can't ignore is religion itself is man-made. You feel what I'm saying? Yep. So it's just like, if you want to go all the way back in those times, that was there put in place to separate us as people. You feel what I'm saying? And it really doesn't make sense when you really have a real relationship with God. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, It's a conversation that a lot of people can't have because it leaves questions there. But I really feel like the whole thing for me is just focusing on having a relationship.
That part. With your people, with your family, with God, with spirit. One person told me, one of my mentors actually, he asked me this and it really like made me think for a long time. I'm a thinker, so I love thinking, right? Yeah. He said, Martel, he said, think about the people in the Bible. So everybody that you know about in the Bible, Jonah, you know what I'm saying, Jesus, Matthew, Luke, Mark, all these people in the Bible. He said, who did they have in the Bible? Before the Bible, what were they reading? Was there a book for them to read? And I thought about it and I said,
I never thought about that.
Well, probably not. Like and the people in the Bible, what were they reading? But they were still connected to God, right? Yeah. Before Yahshua, or Jesus as they call him now, before Yahshua ever came, they were still able to connect with God, right? So what were they connected to? It was like, it's the spirit. So he said it's in us internally. If we dive deep into the spiritual being that we all are, because we spiritual beings having a human experience. Yes. We're spiritual beings and we're here having a human experience, which is great, but it's things that distract us. That's why the devil tempted Jesus for 40 days and 40 nights. Yeah. And what the only thing that Jesus was able to do, or Yahshua was able to do, was speak words to him to say, like, no, you ain't gonna get me. Yeah. So a lot of the times we don't speak words. We go out to the club, we drinking, we partying, we at the strip club, or we at the regular party, or we at home. Yeah. We at home chilling with our friends and family, but we still getting drunk, we still smoking weed, and we still being we're floating. We're being able to be drifters. It's a book called Conversations with the Devil, Outwitting the Devil, right? It's a great book. I love reading. I read a lot of books. I'm going to drop some books today. But one of those books was Conversations with the Devil, and this guy having a conversation, and the devil's telling him all the things he does to keep humans into his trap. And one of the biggest things was drifters. He's like, when you drift, and you were drifting as an individual, you drifting because you're not focused on your purpose. As soon as you get off your purpose, now you opened up the door for him to just knock you off a little bit, for you not to be focused on what you really should be doing here as a spiritual being, not as a human being. You feel me?
I definitely agree. I refer to that as being worldly. I would rather surround myself with people that aren't. That way I have this saying that's like, I would rather be with people that are not of this world and do worldly stuff than just be with worldly people all the time, because you don't really even understand what is taking place right now or the spiritual warfare that we're actually battling. But like the words say, like, people perish because they just didn't know.
Right.
up?
My people perish because of lack of knowledge. And see, that's why me personally, Martel Matthews, I'm sitting here as the CEO of Good Feeling Hemp and the COO of Black Wall Street to bring real knowledge to my people. I know we ain't even got started yet. I'm just talking, you know what I'm saying? I'm just letting them know what I'm here for. But anyways,
for sure. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Wisdom for Women. I'm your host, Eris Simone, founder of the Blue Heart Project, mental health professional, host of Wisdom for Women, and certified life coach. And we back, y'all, with another episode. We've been just talking. That is crazy.
Natural.
But that's good, though.
That's a natural flow.
That's good. But anyway, we have Martel Matthews in the building. Make some noise.
Let them know what time it is. Let them know.
He is the COO of Black Wall Street here in Houston, as well as the CEO of Good Feeling Hemp. Let the people know about you.
Well, first off, I want to say it's a pleasure to be on your show. You know, I know this is a show for wisdom of women, but I'm happy to be here because I want to just bestow wisdom upon all human beings.
For sure.
I think that a lot of things that I've learned through my trials and tribulations of growing up and experiencing these different elevations throughout life, I think people can learn a lot from it. So thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely.
For everybody who's tapped in, my name is Martel Matthews. I am the CEO of Good Feeling Hemp. We're a hemp and CBD company, one of the first black-owned hemp and CBD companies in the state of Texas that's legal.
Oh, wow.
Legal, have our legal license to be able to sell all type of hemp and CBD in the state. You can go to our website, goodfeelinghemp.com, buy creams, oils, whatever you need. I'm also the co-founder and COO of the new Black Wall Street, right? And Black Wall Street, we almost have 1 million followers online. We have 867,000 followers. Let's go. Woo, 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 woo. Make sure y'all follow us, blackwall.st. You know what I'm saying? We got to get to 1 million followers. But, you know, I'm inspired and I'm passionate about what we do because it's a lot of people in the black community areas who don't really have that financial understanding or that financial wisdom when it comes to what they should be doing in the community. And that's what Black Wall Street is founded on. You know, we started in 2015, which is a little under 9 years ago. And to be able to grow to 1 million followers, I mean, it's people who had their social media accounts for 10, 20 years and they still only got 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 followers, you know? We almost at 1 million. But it's because we've been able to put out content that's purposeful. You know what I'm saying? It's really driven. Like when George Floyd was murdered and when Black Lives Matter was all popping and everything was happening back in 2018, 19, like, you know, early before 2020, we was posting a lot of that stuff, right? And at that time we was only at 500,000. You know, so within the last 3 years, we didn't grow up almost 300,000 followers and we keep growing because we posting real content for real people that are our people all over the world. And we're global. We're not just here in America. You know what I'm saying? We got people following us in Africa. We got people following us in Canada. We got people following us from Australia, from India, from the UK. Like, we're really a global brand. So it's amazing to be able to wake up and know that, like, what I say to people is going to impact people globally. And that's why I'm so thankful and grateful to be on your show, because this show as well is impacting people all over the world. And I'm just happy to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
Y'all heard him. Yeah. Put some respect on right. No.
Let them know. Let them know.
No, I appreciate that. That's super dope. I'm definitely, you know, glad that we aligned at that event. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, at the Houston Entrepreneur Week.
I met you that was dope. That event. I'm still sick that, okay, so first of all, I was sick that day you met me. Like, I literally was fighting through, like, I want to go home. Yeah. Man, what? Them last 2 days, though, I couldn't do it. I literally needed to rest, but I was so upset because I had missed that event that you were telling us about. That was the very next day, and the event on Friday. So I was like, oh my God.
All right. But you can't make all of them. But at least you was there, though. Because if not, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Yeah. I definitely feel like I got what I needed. You feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was all aligned. It was all divine timing and everything like that. But with you doing everything that you do, I wanted to definitely sit down and have a conversation with you about women and their finances. Obviously, you know, like we said, wisdom for women, yes, but you know, the thing is, we really live in crazy times right now. As far as just like the narrative that's going on in the gender wars between men and women and all of the things like that. And I really want like us to just get back to like the proper design, like the actual family structure, to really understand like how powerful men are, how powerful women are, and just like really coming together and just really being one to make, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why are we going against the grain by going against each other?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I definitely know for sure that men listen to women at the end of the day. You 100%. Feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. like especially black men, because a lot of black men was raised by single black mothers. As myself. You feel me?
Okay,
so,
period.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you keep going because I'm ready. I got stuff for you.
Yeah. So, you know, at the end of the day, if you want to just look at how women have been the backbone of all of civilization, you feel what I'm saying? And if we really want to get, you know, scholarly with it, you know, it's just like, what does mankind come from? We come from women. You feel what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So I feel like if as women we had more knowledge in regards to having financial literacy before, at an earlier age, I really feel like that should be something that's taught in school. Like, we learn about all of these subjects that don't, I mean, they matter, but they don't. Like, even if we weren't even talking about anything surpassed, like,
we know
algebra.
about calculus, you know what I'm saying?
What? We're not using that in the real world.
What are we doing then? You know,
like,
exactly.
That's stuff that we need to know. Like, what? We need to be learning financial literacy in school. We need to be having cooking classes in school. We need to be learning how to manage bills, how to pay bills. You know how many people, like, what? Like, oh my gosh. I literally had to call my mom about everything when I first got my own place, about how to set up my utilities. And it's like, why didn't I learn this?
No one taught us these things. You know, they don't teach you in high school nor in college. They don't teach you these things at all. Like, at all.
You just thrown out there to the wolves, but
but we ain't gonna digress. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to say, but I'm going on a whole tangent about what don't even matter. But yes, so I know for me, right? I always wanted wealth because I've always liked nice things. That was just like me as a child, knowing like, oh yeah, I gotta have me some money because I want this, and the third. And prior to my dad becoming ill, I was spoiled. So like, once he turned ill, he was pronounced a kidney failure when I was 11 years old. I've been working since I was like 12.
Okay.
As far as like summer jobs at first and stuff like that, to like, you know, pay for my school back to clothes. School clothes,
going back to school clothes.
Going back to school clothes and just stuff like that. And then it just kind of just escalated. Like, you know, and you know, it's a situation where I knew about certain stuff, but I didn't really know about certain stuff. Like, I have a great aunt that was like into real estate. You know, right now she has some properties back where I'm from, Richmond, Virginia, period.
Okay.
Real 804.
Shout out to Virginia in the building. They got the VA in the building. Okay. Ooh.
And just like, you know, I wouldn't say following influential people, because back then it's just whispers that I heard from people that were doing well. Like, in high school, I was starting to get like interested in like, okay, when people say stocks, like, what they talking about?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? So at a very basic level, I always knew I wanted that. But now it's like, I want to build generational wealth so none of my lineage after me experiences poverty on no level. Like, that's just what it is. You feel what I'm saying? Because, I mean, yeah, like, we need to. Well, we have all the resources to. So why not? You feel what I'm saying? Knowledge is literally at our fingertips. So I just want to know, like, what is your take, like, as far as how women show up in that regard? You know what I'm saying?
No, I do. So I'm gonna speak on women, but I'm gonna speak on the community as a whole too. You know, I speak a lot to minority communities, the black community, and I want to tell you, Owen, before I even get to speaking about the wealth side and how you can actually show up and how you can actually build that wealth and create that wealth, I want to congratulate you. Because, like, as a black woman, there's one thing, you know what? I'm going to tell you a real intimate story, right? Like a personal story. Me and one of my ex-girlfriends, we was living together for a while. We was together for like 4 years. And I remember, like, experiencing, we was living in a nice apartment. It was really an upscale apartment, to be honest with you, Harris. And whenever she would go to the front office, she used to tell me that the lady would be like, real extra. She used to say that she would be a female dog, because I don't want to use no languages, right? But she used to say that she was very like disrespectful to her. And I started, and when I came, right, you know, I had a corporate job. I'm coming in a suit. I look very nice, well mannered.
Whole different
black man, different. And whenever I came in, she was always way different to me. And that was one of the first times I really seen how the black woman is really treated in America.
Yeah.
And a black woman is the most unprotected person in America.
Yeah.
Like when you really look at how people treat black women, right?
Word to Malcolm X.
Yeah, word to Malcolm X. Malcolm X was one of the first brothers who was actually speaking this in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
But it's 2023 and 24,
Yeah.
and not much has changed when you really look at it, especially on a day-to-day, whether it's the black man, the white man, the Asian man, or the white woman, the Asian woman, or even the black woman. The way they treat the black woman is a very if you're a single black woman without a man, which is a large percentages off of statistically, right? Speaking, you get treated differently, and a lot of times that impacts your way to be able to acquire wealth or your day to day, because you know that every day you wake up, you kind of have to fight the world. You're going at a fight that you have no partner with, and this world is a hard world to fight without a partner. It's a big uphill battle, you know. And I wanted to congratulate you earlier because of you being able to be so vulnerable. One, having this show, but then two, being able to speak about, you know, with your father and with your past and your lifestyle, and even some of the things you talked about on past episodes. Like I told you before I came on, I did my research about you, right? And I looked into some of your past episodes, and I was like, man, it's amazing what this black woman is able to be so vulnerable about, even when you move from Virginia to Texas, and some of the things you've had the experience with man tricking you and man doing this. And it's a lot of black women who had those same problems, but they're not speaking it because they hurt. They feel ashamed about it, so they don't want to talk about it. So a lot of the times, how can you get to wealth when you're dealing with survival mode? See, wealth is not built in survival. You can't build wealth while you still living in survival mode, right? Like as a man, as a woman, you can't. You literally can't. Like it's a vibrational, wealth is a vibrational frequency. So when we think about vibrational frequencies that we actually vibrate in, how we attract things, because wealth is attracted. It's not something you go get, it's something you attract, right? And so to attract that, you have to be in a state of flow, a state of vibrational abundance to be able to attract the things that comes with wealth. And a lot of black women in America are in a state of survival because they have kids, they have work, they have the world, and a lot of them don't have a partner to help them deal with all these things, right? Yeah. So I just wanted to start there because that's a very important thing to get out of that state.
I never even thought about it like that. Like, we really out here surviving. Like, what are we talking about? Anything else? What are we talking about? Okay, cool.
Right. So everything else, right? We gotta get out of survival to get into thriving, right? Yeah. So, but once you get out of this survival mode, which a lot of that comes with either financial abundance or relational abundance, because the thing is, when it comes to becoming financially wealthy, wealth isn't just about your financial money.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really more about relationships.
Okay.
And the relationships, the main relationship areas starts with your house.
Okay.
Right? If we don't have a good relationship at home, if I don't have somebody at my house to be coming home to me at night when I'm tired and when I'm going through things to help me, reassure me, and I'm speaking from the woman's standpoint, help a woman, reassure a woman that everything's gonna be okay, because the world's hard. Everybody's strong black woman. I hate that term, because like, what do you mean strong black woman? We only call black women strong. I never heard strong white woman. I've never heard strong Asian woman. I've never heard strong Hispanic woman. I've heard strong black woman. What are we talking about? Why do the black woman have to be so strong, right? And
you're like singing our song.
This is just how I feel. And I grew up with a single black mother. My dad was in my life, but I grew up with a single black mother. So I seen this up close and personal, right? So my thing is, first and foremost, before we can actually grow, we must look at what the current situation is and see how do we change it, right? How do we change that vibrational frequency to get us to that next level? Now, what I've seen from some women, before we get to the finances, let's talk about just like status, like being able to go from survival to thriving. What I've seen with some women have been there. It's been like three things, honestly, that I've seen that's helped them. One has been either a black woman has found a mate, a partner, whether that's a black man or a black woman, to be honest with these days, right? She's found a partner to help her carry the load that comes with being a human being, first off, right? Just in America. So she's not surviving by herself. She's found somebody to help her. The second thing I found, if they haven't found somebody to help them, they found an organization to tap into. So that organization, some people, that's the church. Some people, that's a community of entrepreneurs. Some people, that's a nonprofit group where they give back to people.
Okay.
They found something, a community to tap in that helps them energize, bring their energy up. So there's a book called there's a book that I read. I actually love this book. It's called The Celestine Prophecy.
Okay.
The Celestine Prophecy talks about these prophecies that basically foretells that there's a time in history where the world will have an awakening. And the book is based in Peru. And they're saying that in Peru in this time, these different prophecies have different things that you'll be able to awaken to. Okay. One of them, like, is like, for example, right? One of them is being able to awaken to energy transformation. And so when you have an energy transformation, you'll realize when you walk into a room as a spirit and as a being, the people in that room can impact your energy. Yeah. And if your energy is above those people, they can either pull you down, or your energy is so up that they'll leave. Right? They can't stay in the room because your energy is so high. Yeah. So part of being a black woman and a woman of wisdom is starting to put yourself in rooms and energy that is vibrating at such a level where you only with people who are vibrating high. Yeah. All the negativity, all the low vibrational frequency, all the other things that kind of pull you back down. Right. You don't even surround yourself around those people. Man. You don't even surround yourself around those individuals. And that may be your mama. It may be your cousin. It may be your auntie. It may be your uncle. It may be your brother. It may be a classmate. It may be your best friend. It may be your coworker. It may be your boss. These people who can be energy vampires come in to suck the energy out of you because they see the light in you. They see the God in you. And that happens to a lot of women who are positive beings, positive people. But the people who they close to are energy vampires, sucking the energy out of them. So they wonder why they can't get ahead. They wonder why they can't see that wealth that they really ready to experience. And it's because they're around people who are literally sucking the wealth out of them and saying, stay down here with me. I don't want you to go nowhere. Stay with me. We over here. Misery Love Company. You know what I'm saying?
And before you go to your next point, it's just so crazy because I feel like I got to drop this gem. As I'm big on reflection. Right, I'm big on journaling, like, you know, all of the things. In me being a mental health professional, I'm also in therapy myself. Okay, and so just along my journey, even before I started therapy and things like that, what I really had to start doing was asking myself the question of, how do you feel when you're around this person? How do you feel when you leave this person? What was your energy like before you started even engaging in their energy? And really assess that, because it's like, yeah, you could say all of these things, but it's like, really assess that for real, because it's like, okay, if I feel drained after I talk to you, if I feel lazy after I talk to you, if now I have like the spirit of just like me procrastinating or, you know, all of the things, you probably are an energy vampire. Right. We're probably not in alignment. You feel what I'm saying? You're probably a distraction. Right. And unfortunately, like you were getting at, that comes with a lot of goodbyes. I feel like as I'm continuing to grow and be on my own journey, I'm really understanding the phrase, you know, the top is lonely. And I'm really understanding that it's really nothing to do. It's really more so the idea of like mentally, emotionally. Yeah. Because it's like once you start elevating and growing, unfortunately, a lot of people that you had around you, whether it be, you know, friends, family, you know, relationships, whatever the case may be, they not going to get it. They're not. And you're not going to stop your own process because of other people. Because now you're going to build resentment for them. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So I'm really understanding, like, when people say that, what they really talking about for real. But I just wanted to add a little gem.
No, I like a little razzle dazzle. You know, she always add the razzle dazzle. We need that. We need that. And I love that you just added that, because what it made me think about is as you start to elevate through different spiritual awakenings, right? You go through different cycles. Like myself, I remember going through the dark night of the soul. And when you experience going through the dark night of the soul, this is a part of your spiritual awakening. Before you even get there, Eris, you first get awakened, right? Some people call being awakened, they get saved, they get baptized. Some people spiritually have a conscious awakening. Some people do that through meditation. Some people do it through shrooms. Some people do it through, long hours of fasting. People do it through different ways, but they have a revelation, right? It's like God hits them, bow, got hit in your forehead. Your third eye is now open. Yeah. When your third eye becomes open, and you have that spiritual awakening, the stages usually go something similar to this. First, you were in the blind, you didn't know, right? You were ignorant. Ignorant means you did not know. You had a lack of knowledge. Right. Once you're no longer ignorant, now you have the knowledge. First, you want to tell everybody. You're like, oh, let me tell you the secret of what I found. Man. I know the secret to wealth. I know the secret to happiness. I know the secret to God. I want to tell you. Yeah. You start wanting to share it. Then you realize as you share it to everybody ain't ready. Man. Some people give you back. Some people that you sharing it to, people you love, people you intimate with, they like, man, you sound crazy, man. What you talking about? You talking about you learn how to live and vibrations. What are you talking? Frequencies. What this nigga talking about? Like people get to talking to you like you crazy. Like so that's like, but that's stage 2. Because stage 1 is the awakening. Yeah. Stage 2 is you want to share the awakening a lot of times. Stage 3 is when you go through that dark night of the soul. A lot of times the dark night of the soul, and a lot of people in 2023 and 2024 we're going to have this experience. Mark my words, in 2024 you're going to see a lot of people going through mental problems. You're going to see a lot of people starting to enter into therapy, because the dark night of the soul is when you actually start to experience your demons. You start to experience all of your soul ties, all of your past traumas, all of your family ties, all the things that is happening to your soul and your core that you ain't been able to get over. You start to experience those when you go through that dark night of the soul. It get real. I done been through these. I'm not talking something I ain't read about. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm going through this right now. So
I'm just saying, because
has he tapped my phone?
I know we talking about wealth, and I'm gonna get there. I'm just getting through all the steps that you go through before you even get to being able to vibrate on wealth. You feel me?
That's wild, because facts.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you go through that. But when you know the steps, right? When you listen to podcasts like this, like the Women Wisdom podcast, and when you listen to podcasts that put you on the game, it helps you. Yeah. Because knowledge is power. And what that good book say, our people perish because of lack of knowledge.
That's crazy, but facts.
A lack of knowledge. Yeah. And that's why I love podcasts. They're powerful. But like this knowledge that we giving out to people, somebody gonna hear this today, and it's gonna help them because they going through it right now, just like you going through it right now. Man. Just like I went through it right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we elevate. So after you get through that, right?
What's the state?
She like, what's the next step? What's the step after the dark night of the soul? All right, so boom. Once we get past the dark night of the soul, that's when you actually get to the stage.
I'm so tuned in right now.
We having a real conversation at this point. That's when you get to the next stage of enlightenment. So the next stage of enlightenment, I like to call it the sunshine stage. Okay. Because that's when the sun starts to shine, right? You know when, like Eris, think about it. You know whenever it rains heavy, and like it's raining outside right now. It's raining, it's cloudy outside, it's dark, and you just like, damn, I can't rain, go away, coming back another day. You're like, go away, rain. You can't wait for it to leave. And when it leaves, the sun comes out and it starts to shine. Yeah. That's the step after the dark night of the soul, because then you find another level of yourself that you had to tap into and you secure with. It's a level of security. It's a level of secureness that when you walk in the room, people just feel you different. They're like, y'all don't know what it is about that woman or that girl or that man, but like, damn, something about them. They feel so secure about it. You ain't trying to tell everybody what they should know. You ain't trying to wake everybody up. You're not out here like, yo, don't listen with your ears, listen with your third eye. You ain't out here trying to preach to everybody. You just like, yo, I'm living my life. This is how you elevate. No. And I hope you catch the vibe.
I hope so.
That's the sunshine stage. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then that's the stage after that, in my opinion, right? And this isn't like no biblical things I've read. This is just my personal opinion. Okay. But my stage after that is when you actually start to personally on a day-to-day walk with God. Okay. And when you start to get to that stage, it's beautiful. Like walking with God on a day-to-day basis, right? And this is where, like, honestly, this is where marriage or like commitment with another being, right? As God has made it to be, man and woman together. This is where that becomes very important. It's kind of hard. I'm gonna be honest, it's very difficult to get to this stage without being in like some level of commitment. Like you can do it by yourself, but a lot of times it's hard. But when you really in a commitment, like you got a wife, you got a husband, you got somebody you with, a relationship where y'all can really lock in together. Because when when 1 and 2 become one, right? 1 plus 1 in human terms equals what? 2. Yeah. 1 plus 1 in spiritual terms, in metaphysics, in God terms, we can talk science or we can talk God. Yeah. Metaphysics equals 1. You add 1, boom. Now it becomes a whole nother entity. You're a new entity. You're a new being. So when you get to that being stage, right? You went through the dark night of the soul. Now you just start walking with God. Now you are a whole new creation. You're a new being. You're a new person. You know what I'm saying? That's the stage that when Jesus was on the mount and he said, when he said, ask and it should be given to you. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. Seek and you shall find. And I think I just reversed that because seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. But those 3 things, right? When you knock, when you seek, and when you find, that's when God was saying that happens. Because you're in such flow with the spiritual elevation of oneness that God just bestows everything upon you. So to bring all of that back to wealth, when you start to go through these stages as a being, as a person, as a man, as a woman, these are the stages that you must go to acquire wealth. It's a reason why it's a 1%, 10% of the world that's financially secure, and why the rest of the world is paycheck to paycheck. The average American barely has $1,000 in their savings account. Barely. So if you think about that, right, there's a lot of Americans, over 300 million Americans. So the average American barely has $1,000 in their savings account. 1,000. That's crazy when you think about it. But at the same time, if you got 3 to 4 kids, if you're single, most people are single, even if you're married, you know what I'm saying? It's hard because you're keeping up with the Joneses. When you're single, you're doing what you can to make ends meet. When you're married, you still trying to live a certain lifestyle so that your husband, your wife, and your kids experience a certain lifestyle. So you don't want to stay in the hood. You stayed in the hood with your money, you may be up, but you stay in a little bit better neighborhood so your kids go to a better school, they get a better education. But now your money is stretched thinner. So now you only have so much money at the end of the month. Now don't let your car break down. Don't let your kid get sick. Don't let somebody break an arm. Don't let a phone get broke. Now don't let, you know what I'm saying? Stuff happen in real life.
I don't got none of them problems.
Those expenses running up, you know? But a lot of people in the world do. A lot of these listeners who are all over the world tapping in, y'all have these problems, and this is why you're wondering why I cannot get ahead. Right. But I want to tell you, stop focusing so much on the money and on the wealth and focus on your spirit. If you focus more on your spirit and the things that you need to do spiritually to elevate and to raise these next level of vibrations in your life,
the abundance will flow.
The abundance will flow. Yeah. The abundance will flow. Yeah. It's not going to flow overnight, but it will flow. And it may only take you 3 to 6 months. But a lot of y'all so impatient, or you don't have the time, or you think about it and then you do it for like a week and then you kind of like back to real world. Something happened, your boss pissed you off, and now you not on, and this is where the partner come in, right? Like if you got a partner and y'all on the same page, and my heart goes out to a lot of people, especially a lot of black women, because a lot of times a lot of our black women are leading the charge, right? One of the things about America is, like, don't get me wrong, we have great black men in America. Amazing black men. Amazing.
Shout out to my black men.
Shout out to my black brothers. You know, I'm always rooting for us because, you know, we go through a lot being black men in America. Yeah. But I'm also always being truthful about the reality. A lot of our black men have been institutionalized. They've been beat down by America. They've been beat down by the world. Some of us been beat down by our mothers, which if you got a bad relationship with your mother, it's kind of hard to understand the relationship you should have with your wife.
A whole different episode.
It is. I mean, this is just real facts.
Because most men
we
don't
just
even
real
know.
Talks.
Like, they're not even aware.
You know what
but it comes out in.
And they don't go to therapy. Black men don't go to. I never. So look, like, boom. I'm gonna get very personal. Can I get intimate with you? All right. We this is a safe space. America. I'm like Bernie Mac. America. We in a safe space, America. All right, boom. Let's get safe with it then. So like, For myself, when I was growing up, I had a mother who was disabled. My mother had ALS. So, like, by the time I was in 6th grade, my mom was in a wheelchair, right? Okay. She went from a walker to a wheelchair to barely being able to feed herself. So, from 7th grade all the way till I graduated, I used to wake up in the morning, brush my mother's teeth. I used to cook us breakfast, and then a provider would come. I would go to school. I'll come home, cook us dinner. I used to feed her, feed myself. Like, and this is like in 7th grade. I'm in middle school. Yeah, I'm my mother's only child, but I'm the oldest, right? So, going through all these things, I was 11 driving, you know what I'm saying? Wow. I was a grown man young. All my partners know, you know what I'm saying? I'm also the one who threw all the parties and I was lit and all that shit too. But I was also grandpa. Yeah. I'm the wise one. Okay. But I used to pray for it. I used to ask God to make me wise, right? But what I found out as I went through all these things was that, like, man, a lot of people, these hurts and these triumphs that we going through, we don't know what to do with it. My mother used to ask me, she used to say, Martel, why don't you I want you to go to therapy. I said, Mama, I'm not going to therapy. Well, I'm going to go talk to some stranger about what I'm going through, Mama. I'm not about to tell this stranger what I'm going through. What I look like, Mama. I used to tell her that.
Say every black man.
Every black man. I used to tell her that all the time. Boom. My mama died when I'm 2015. I'm 21 years old. 2 days before my football, I appreciate it. 2 days before I'm supposed to report from my football career. Right, my senior year, I'm a captain on the team. I played 4 years in college. I'm balling. Boom, she passed away, and I remember, like, I go to college, I do my thing, and then I end up moving to Barcelona, Spain. I'm living in Spain. I'm growing these companies. I'm an entrepreneur, and that's amazing. Like, yeah, it was an amazing journey, and I felt like it was her blessing that helped me do it, but I felt empty inside too. A part of me felt so hurt, and I was really mad at God during this time. Like, you know, I was mad at him younger. Like, why you put me and my mama through this? But then, like, now you took her away from me. I'm only 21. I'm 30 now. I became a CEO at 26. I became a CEO at 29. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm going through all these different triumphs and tribulations to become who God made me to be. But the reason why I say that story is because at 28, I went to therapy. When my mama was alive, I told her, I'm going to therapy for? Mama, I don't need therapy. I don't need no therapy. What I need therapy for, Mama? I don't need no therapy. I'm good. Mama, we thugging. We got this, baby. That's you and me. I just call her Superwoman. It's you and me, Superwoman. We got it. Long as you got it, I got you. You got me. That's all we need. Okay. That was our conversation on the daily. And I meant that. We got it, baby. Yeah. I got you. You got me. But you know what I'm saying? When she was gone, now I'm like, I got me. And I got me, you know what I'm saying? like no cap. I got my dad, I got my grandma, but it ain't the same. It ain't mama, you know what I'm saying? Mama, I come home, I ain't got nowhere to stay. I'm staying, like me and my mama stayed in most city. My pop stay in the hood. I'm staying in South Park in the hood. I ain't got no, I'm just like, damn, where I'm supposed to stay? You know what I'm saying? I'm down there homeless, even though I'm not homeless. I got a couch to crash on, but you're
without a home.
I'm without a home. Yeah. My mama was home, you feel me? So going through all that in life, I realized at 28 when I went to therapy, and I actually did hypnotherapy areas. What's the difference? So hypnotherapy, and I advise go to any therapy, right? I just personally end up going to a hypnotherapist, but she would put it was like she would do a video. A trance? It's not a trance. I don't want to say trance because that's really not what it was. It was like it's like an audio that I would listen to, and the audio would like put my mind in a receiving state. It would put my mind in the subconscious state versus my REM state, right? Okay. You know, like there's different realms of sleep. Yeah. It puts you in a more accepting state. Okay. And then I would listen to that, and the kind of we had one called Goal Getter. And the Goal Getter, it was like 30 minutes. You listen to it. I damn near fall asleep every time. You know what I'm saying? Then we wake up and we have conversations. But the main thing I realized, whether you're doing regular therapy or hypnotherapy, whether you're a black man, a black woman, or a human, therapy is great because even though you feel like you don't need nobody to talk to, you don't realize what things you're not talking about.
Man, listen.
You don't realize it. I swear. You don't realize the things that are inside of your brain that you've never said out loud because you don't want to say it to a friend. You don't want to say it to a family member. You don't want to say it to somebody that you know personally because you feel like they're going to judge me. And I'm going to be honest with you. They are. You know what I'm saying? People are like, no, tell me your truth. I'm not going to judge you. You're lying. You're going to judge me. And I know you are. And people are, but when you actually find a therapist, a professional, you're paying them just to listen to you, not to judge you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So boom, I feel like, as a black man at the time, I'm 28. I'm a 20-year-old black man, CEO, entrepreneur, starting these companies in the great state of Texas, doing my thing. And I'm like, man, I need some help though. Like I'm going through a lot, and I'm really just holding it all in. I'm really not talking to nobody. I'm not talking to me and my ex then broke up. So I'm really going through breakup relationship issues, startup business issues, employee issues, business partnership issues. I'm going through all type of stuff.
Yeah.
But who do I talk to about it? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really have nobody. So that's where therapy became big for me. And if you're listening to this right now, I recommend that you do therapy. I don't care if you're doing online therapy, if you're doing in-person therapy, if you do hypnotherapy, regular therapy. Find some type of therapy if you've been through a lot. Yeah. And I'm telling you, just because it's somebody that you can talk to who is an outside observer and they can tell you things that
it's not coming from a biased place.
A biased place. I'm gonna tell you. And I know you got other questions, so I'm gonna shut up after this.
You go ahead. You good.
I got one more thing I want to add that my therapist taught me. Right.
Okay.
So boom, when I was going to therapy, one of the things that my therapist taught me was she told me, she said, Martel, I want you to understand that life is really all about sayings. And I was like, what? I'm critical on everybody. I'm like, I don't believe you. You talking some bullshit. I'm critical. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I am naturally. Yeah. But she was like, life is all about sayings. I'm like, what is saying? She said, life is all about SANS. She said that's sleep, adventure, nutrition, and sex. If you get she said, whenever you feel out of balance in life, look at your 4 SANS. Look at your sleep, your adventure, your nutrition, and your sex. And sex can be physical or energy, sexual energy that you have with people. If one of these 4 areas are out of wax, right? One of those 4 areas, sleep, adventure, nutrition, or sex. One of those 4 areas are not in balance. You'll find that you feel a little out of place because one of those areas are not in balance. And I was like, wow. And I started to think about it, and I was like, well, damn. At this point, I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. I was working a lot, so I wasn't having a lot of adventure.
Man, you like it's a 0 for everything.
You know what I'm saying? I was eating okay, but my nutrition wasn't all that. And me and my ex just broke up, so it wasn't a lot of sex. So I was like, damn, man, this why I'm not happy. You know what I'm saying? She was like, but those are the type of things that when you go to therapy and when you go to professionals, they can bestow a level of intelligence upon you that you didn't even realize that you didn't know. Yeah. It's a level of intelligence that they bestow in lessons that they bestow upon you that you didn't realize that you ain't know. You know, so I encourage you again, if you tapped in today, I don't care if you go to your pastor. If you don't go to your mama, don't go to your daddy, don't go to your sister. Man. Go to somebody
with an
unbiased opinion, whether it's a professional therapist, whether it's a religious leader, whether it's somebody that you trust, a mentor. Go to somebody and be able to have a real 30 minutes to hour conversation where you just pour out the things you're going through and let them pour into you. Because one of the things that I learned too is if you pouring and your cup isn't full and you trying to pour into everybody else, I'm a giver, Aries. I like to give. I give to my family. I'm the chosen one. You know what I'm saying? God has blessed me to be the chosen one, but being the chosen one, I took a lot of losses. I've been through a lot of hurt. I've been through a lot of pain, and I had to get, so I earned my stripes to be able to be this individual. Right. But one of the things that I realized is that even now, I still pour into my cousins, my family. I got my aunts call me for money. I'm 30. I'm 29. I'm like, what y'all calling?
It's like, first of all, y'all been on the earth way longer than me.
60. You calling me? You know what I'm saying? But my people call me, but I'm grateful for that. I learned not to.
It's a blessing to be a blessing.
It's a blessing to be this. It's a blessing because givers are receivers. So I love being able to be this, but I still need an outlet. So if you're listening in, make sure y'all go to therapy.
And y'all better not go nowhere. That was part 1. Please tune back in next Sunday for part 2. We talking about a lot of stuff. I don't even know what the topic really is anymore, but I'm enjoying the conversation. For sure. But yes, I'm y'all host, Aries Simone. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of Wisdom for Women. And I'm going to see y'all next Sunday.
See y'all next Sunday.
Bye.
Peace.